comes to talk. Thanks for joining. Okay, you know, yesterday with Elon just totally lost it yesterday. I mean, lost it. I don't know if I've seen someone lose their mind at a level like that ever, ever. It was crazy what happened yesterday with Elon, with the president, and the way that President Trump handled everything was so absolutely amazing. He didn't handle this bizarre Elon meltdown the way he would have dealt with it in his first term. He dealt with it very calmly. He didn't really go after Elon. I mean, he talked about a few things that were important and relevant and such, but he really didn't go after Elon Musk at all. I mean, he pointed out some things and said a few things, and then he posted something on Truth. But all in all, President Trump was well reserved, very reserved in his response. And he had a very big press day because Elon had this meltdown that I just don't know if I've seen something like that before. Have you? It was just maddening. And President Trump had a big press day. He was getting questions all day, right? He had the Oval Office meeting with the German Chancellor, the guy that's got Hitler's old job. He had that event with Pam Bondi. It was never ending. But it looks like they're on the path to making up today. They have a scheduled phone meeting today, so they're going to talk on the phone today. Elon said that maybe they need to make up, and he just went on a bender. And, welcome everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And I've been hearing from a lot of people, that are saying, oh, you said the other day they were working together and you were wrong. Who could have predicted this? That Oval Office farewell with Elon Musk, you could see these guys were buddies, that they had chemistry. They're like the besties of besties that two men can be in a straight way. And I don't think anyone could have predicted this. And people are going to say this happened, that happened. I thought it was interesting with the presidents. And by the way, today on the program at 6, when I'm live on the morning show, I'll be taking live calls. And Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in today about any and everything on your mind. President Trump, there were 3 people yesterday that responded to this that I thought had the most accurate and interesting take. President Trump, McEnany on the 5, and Jesse Waters on the 5. Okay, so I'll go through all 3 of them. I'll start with President Trump. And I'm going to go through all this on the morning show today and take your calls as well. President Trump, when he was there with the German Chancellor, he said people leave, the White House. They're no longer. They wake up the next day. They're not in the Oval Office, and it's it's boring to them. And I remember Buzz Aldrin talked about what life was like after walking on the moon. He says, "What can you do after that?" And he had a depression and alcoholism and things because of it. And Elon Musk, even though he's the richest man in the world and could build his own Oval Office if he wanted to, maybe he will, waking up the next day and not being at the seat of power with all that influence, it's like he just had a crash, right? Like a major mental crash. By the way, this cup is, that's an original design by my wife, which is available in her Etsy store. And there's a link to my wife Kathy's Etsy store in the description of the video. So, you know, she's got a lot of, not just mugs, she's got all kinds of merch with original designs that she created. And I think, you know, President Trump, who is in the inner circle of what's going on, when he said that, I think that's you got to take that as the most accurate explanation as to what happened with Elon yesterday. That waking up you know, not being in that Oval Office just caused him to freak out. You know, it was coming down off a massive high, right? You know, it's like someone has been on a drug bender, like a cocaine bender for months, 130 days, and then they wake up a couple of days, they don't have their fix, and they start freaking out. It was kind of like that, right? Was, you know, with Elon, and that was President Trump's take. Not the cocaine part, the part about waking up and not being in the Oval Office. And I thought that was a pretty interesting take from the president, which I'm going to assume is the most accurate, since he's one of the two parties that knows what's going on. The second one was Kayleigh McEnany on the 5 yesterday. And I'm behind on my coffee, right? I've cut my coffee back, guys, so you gotta bear with me. And it's only 4:16 a.m. here on the East Coast. McEnany on the 5, she had a good point, and I think this was a very accurate thing as well. She said, you know, you've got the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world. And she said the only way those two people could get along, and I saw Ben Shapiro took what McEnany said and turned it into his own. But she said, this was McEnany on the 5 yesterday. She said, you've got the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world. And the only way for this to last is for the richest man in the world to become subservient to the most powerful man in the world. And that's just conflict. And that's true. I mean, that's part of it as well. And then there was another a comment made by Jesse Waters on the 5. And Ben Shapiro's cool. Oh, you're just trolling. Yeah, you're just a troll. Who Ben Shapiro? I don't even think would claim he was cool. And Jesse Waters, who's on the inside, he's friends with the Trump family, and Eric and Don Jr. were at his wedding to his former mistress. But Jesse Waters, he said, you know, guys, real guys, not you Gen Zs and millennials don't get this because you're not real men. But Jesse Waters, he says, guys get in fights. And then the next day it's like nothing happened, right? And the thing with that is it was true, because today Elon and President Trump have a phone meeting scheduled. Now, who knows if that'll go through, if something will happen, who knows? And then Carolyn Levitt, I give her this as the 4th one. She was on Fox last night, and she talked about Elon out to save his business and such, you know, and all this stuff. So all in all, it was an event that was unpredictable and incredibly freaking insane the whole day. And it's disappointing, because, you know, so much good could be done with these two guys as a team, right? Now, if you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. I hope Elon does not do any interviews unless he's going to apologize or, you know, be cool. Bros will be bros. That's right. MAGA's back in business, correct? I mean, it was just a crazy day. Crazy day. I mean, who would have imagined that something like that would have happened? It was crazy. And, you know, Steve Bannon, I know a lot of people are going to say they were right, Loomer and Bannon and a few others, but Steve Bannon was yesterday. Steve Bannon, I don't know if Steve Bannon's serious or if he's just trying to go viral. Steve Bannon said Trump should deport Elon. He said he should seize SpaceX immediately, you know. Now, I was talking on my podcast last night, and this is true. Elon is not stable. Even if he cools off today, he's not stable. And he's got two things that an unstable man could do all kinds of terrible things with. One, he's got a whole fleet of rockets. He launches rockets into space pretty much every day from Florida, Texas, and California. And he also controls the #1 media platform and outlet ever created with X. And so that makes it a dangerous situation. But I think yesterday we really showed how strong MAGA is and the love and support that people have for President Trump, because the only, I know there were a few people smoked out, right, maybe, but I didn't see any fractures in the MAGA movement over this, right? Everybody immediately dropped Elon because we're with Trump. Was there any maybe I missed it, but did any of you see any high-profile MAGA people that were siding with Elon yesterday? I didn't see anyone. Mm. No. So, it's MAGA is strong. MAGA is strong. I was reading a post on X from Cat Turd, and he said something about I don't listen to Alex Jones, so the only time I hear Alex Jones is if somebody mentions him in the news or it's on a social post. But Cat Turd on X made some reference that Alex Jones talked about a MAGA cult. It's not a cult. People don't understand. I got to go through this. First of all, everything President Trump is doing, everything he's doing is what they shot him for in Butler to try to stop him from doing, right? Everything Trump's doing, they tried to stop him with a bullet in Butler. And then they tried it again at the golf course. So, there's, I believe because of that, in this second term, we should support Trump 100% and not question anything he does. Because what he's doing, he's not a regular politician or a president. He's a disruptor. He's a civil rights leader. He's changing. He's turning the world upside down and taking our country back from the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceuticals, the corrupt politicians, and everything else. And because of that, you got to be 100% loyal to him, because there's a bigger picture here. This isn't about any particular bill or any particular news cycle, right? Yeah, DeSantis is done. And for his betrayal. Now, I don't know if Elon will have has he done the same damage as DeSantis? Can he recover? I don't know. Let's see if this scheduled phone call meeting with Trump and Elon takes place today and how that turns out. Trump has bigger fish to fry than worrying about some guy on his period going nuts, right? So, that's what's going on here. It was definitely a crazy day. No. But I thought it was very interesting how Trump handled everything. He handled everything so calmly, didn't he? I mean, he didn't do what you would normally expect him to do. I'm not saying he was not upset. I mean, who would be happy at that crap happening? I always stand with Trump. Are you kidding? Always. Yeah. I will stand with Trump for the rest of my life. And the Trump family. I mean, this is, and I'll never apologize for it either. Not going to happen. Camilla. Who's Camilla Harris? And what is she the president of? No, it's not a cult. It's not worship. It's just there's a big picture here to get our country back. MAGA for life, Daniel. Absolutely. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. All right. And guys, don't forget, today on the morning show, which will be about 90 minutes from now, it is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday, so you guys can call in about anything and everything on your mind on Friday's show. Australia for Trump, welcome. Drop the mic. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Take back from who? I've do military-industrial complex, pharmaceuticals, corrupt politicians, foreign influence. That's who we're taking it back from. Corrupt people. Very corrupt people. Yeah, I mean, that was not, if this had happened in the first term, Trump would have been going off, but he was very mellow about it. Very mellow. Thought it was impressive. Somebody asked about the crowns and the numbers. YouTube is doing something new, and they sent me a couple of videos explaining it, and I don't fully understand it. It's and if you click on, you'll see what's is the community leaderboard, and it's about the most. It's showing the people that are most active in the chat of a live stream. All the live streams have it now. That's what those crowns and numbers are for. So whatever your number is where you are on that leaderboard. I'm not exactly sure how they award that. It's something new they just rolled out like in the last week. Yeah. Definition of corrupt. Joe Biden's son goes to China and they give him a diamond for no known reason. That kind of thing is corrupt. Doing things not for your constituents, but because some donor paid you. That's corruption. Well, you won't be getting away with that with me, Jared. No spamming in here. Well, Trump owns 2 planes, right? Trump Force One and another. Diehard Eagles fan. Thank you for that super chat. Awesome. No, it's corrupt. How could Trump Force One be corrupt? He's owned that plane for years. But I'm glad things have toned down a little bit because, because of Elon when Elon went and said Trump was on the Epstein list, come on, everybody knows that's BS. Everybody knows that to be total BS. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile says there isn't a single politician that ain't corrupt. Donald Trump is not corrupt. He can't be president. He was not a natural-born U.S. citizen. You have to be a natural-born U.S. citizen to be president. He's not qualified to be the president. That's right, Pineapple. Everyone's pointing that out. If Trump were on the Epstein list, the Democrats would have used it in the campaign. Absolutely. They would have done that before the Never Trumpers shot him. That would have been their first thing was Epstein, but we know. Elon obviously had a mental break yesterday. Oh, I'm in the car live streaming. It's my wife on my walkie.
Never mind.
My wife and I have walkie-talkies to communicate with. Rapid radio. They should be. This is not a paid sponsorship. They should be, though. These things are awesome. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, no, she's going back to sleep. It's 4:30 in the morning. She woke up and I left the house a little early today, so she's wondering if I was in the house. She probably called me. I wasn't there, so wondering where I was. Oh, he was, I'm still live streaming, but he was hiding. We're looking for one of my daughter's cats. And my daughter's cats are staying with us, so you haven't gone to bed yet? Oh, I've been up for hours. Hours and hours. Elon's a spoiled man, not used to take it. Well, when this is, I don't misunderstand this comparison, but when you are the richest man in the world, okay, when you're the richest man in the world, you it's almost like being you're like a dictator. You can have no one can tell you what to do. You can do whatever the freak you want, and then all of a sudden you're working underneath someone. It's not easy. It's like being a dictator. You don't trust Elon. I just hope they work it out. I mean, that's it. But this could have, there was one person when Elon posted that ridiculous tweet that Trump was on the Epstein list. I mean, just everybody knows that's not true. And I showed the comments on my podcast last night, which I hope you guys watched. And wow, you've been up a long time. Veritas been up a long time, longer than me. I've been up since about midnight. Someone had responded, and I showed this on my podcast. They said this is the most expensive tweet ever. And I agree. This could damage him forever. I mean, he's already alienated the Democrats, the liberals that are the Tesla lovers. When I would visit my daughter in Los Angeles, there were so many freaking Teslas there. I remember I picked my daughter up at the airport, and it was easy for my daughter's got a Kia, right? It was so easy to see my daughter coming to pick me up because every freaking car was a Tesla. I don't know how people in the parking lots know which car is theirs out there. So he's alienated the liberals, and now this could permanently alienate him from MAGA conservatives. And I'm thinking, what about all these MAGA people that bought Teslas? Here in my neighborhood, on the next street over, there's a house. They have Trump signs and stuff up in the front of their house, even now, right out of the election season. And a few weeks ago, they bought a Tesla, the same one that Trump bought from Elon, the red one, the same color in their driveway. So how many MAGA people went out and bought Tesla cars or Cybertrucks and are like, oh shit, you know what I mean? How much there's talk about how much value Tesla lost in the stock yesterday, but how many people are now way the hell upside down on their Tesla cars, their Cybertrucks and everything? I mean, there's a lot of MAGA people went out and bought Teslas, bought the Cybertrucks. Yeah. I'm not impressed with the Cybertrucks. I showed one. I was inside one for the first time, and I put a vlog up on the channel here a week or two ago, and I was not impressed with the Cybertruck. I don't mind some of the cars. Some of the sedans are nice, but the Cybertruck I'm not impressed with. But I imagine there's a lot of MAGA people that are pissed